Good evening everyone, welcome to FGM ECast presenting AUSPASS, or the Australian Pro-Am Sim Series, live from Gilles-Villeneuve. We are in Canada this evening for round 2 of the Americas portion of this 3-leg series as we head across the globe for the second season of the Oz Pro-Am Sim Series, and fantastic circuit for us to be here tonight. We're going to see, it's going to be really close racing, particularly as coming just up on the screen here on board with Luke Bergens down into the hairpin towards the end of the lap. So it's going to be a full race. We've got 2 races tonight as usual. We've got our first 25-minute race coming up just once practice is over. We've got qualifying followed by that race, and then the reverse grid 45-minute race that we always look forward to see who can make their way through the field and get themselves on the board. So let's keep a look out for all of that coming up to you on FGM ECast over the next 2 hours or so. If you're in the chat, don't forget to shout out, say hello, let us know you're watching, and looking forward to bringing this one to you. We've got a couple of returns tonight, including Glenn Boyd. He's back on the grid. Good to see him return in the M8 BMW. So Jack Boyd not here as yet, maybe not making it tonight, but we'll keep an eye out for him and see if he can jump in as well. Martin Crisp joining us from Canada as well, so this will be his home circuit, obviously. Hopefully knows a fair bit about it, you'd say. So at the moment, currently up into second place in the XRC Racing BMW. Josh Perwin, strong performance last week. Matty Carleone, a strong performance as well. So keep an eye on them through this evening's proceedings. So this one, just the second round in the Americas part of this season, and next week we're heading to Long Beach, a brand new track on iRacing. Only released last week, a really large update actually yesterday. Last week I should say, coming through on iRacing, including a number of new cars and plenty of new tracks as well. But Long Beach is the one that the circuit racers got the most excited about. Certainly one that I have been looking forward to, along with the introduction of the Lamborghini as well in the GT3 category. That will be entering the ranks, replacing the Audi, which has been pushed aside, much to my displeasure. That was one of my favourite cars to run in the GT3 category, but I did have a crack in the Lamborghini late last week, and I can tell you it's a great car to drive as well. So looking forward to that potentially being introduced into this series next season. I've been talking with Sam Lehman and Matty Carleone, the organisers of this series. Always we just see it's going to be a risk for the guys there getting wide and clipping that wall. See Martin Crisp there giving us that example. Talking about next season already. So we're planning our 2021 calendar, and it is filling up rapidly.
Hey Martin, you got a home.
Looking forward to seeing what comes of that.
No, they speak French here. Why? They speak the French language, you know?
So just getting a little bit of driver chat there as well, so apologies for that. I was actually racing the other week, so I'll just quickly turn that off, albeit it's all good. I'll just get rid of the driver chat there, just in case. Things tend to get a little bit animated during the race, as you'd understand, so we'll turn that one off there, and apologies for that as we get back onto the practice session. So just looking over the circuit here, got 14 corners here at the track named after the Canadian World Champion, father of course of Jacques Villeneuve, the last Canadian Formula 1 World Championship way back in, stab in the dark, around about 2000 or so, maybe 2001, 2002. Notably, the chicane turns 13 and 14, and the hairpin turn 12 prior to that. Really, the parts of the track that will get nice and congested. Equally here on the start of the lap as well. It's very easy to run wide Got to be careful of the pit exit there, which you can just see at the top of your screen. So right on board with Josh Perwin. You don't run too wide. And this corner here, I guarantee will catch out a couple of our drivers on cold tyres. You can generally get through there reasonably enthusiastically when the tyres are warm, but on cold tyres can be a little tricky too. So it's an interesting little circuit, this one. I say little, I think it's around about 4Ks long, so it's actually not the smallest track we go to. It's not Oran Park-esque, but it certainly is not one of the longer ones in the terms of international circuits that we're visiting as part of this AUSPASS series. I was not expecting any pit stops potentially in that first race like normal. We would expect that the drivers don't need to make a stop. Looking at around about 3 litres left, the race organisers actually really gladly given me some notes about the fuel limits for these cars. So the starting fuel for the 3 cars is just varied slightly just for the sake of balance of power. You've got the Porsche with 50 litres, Corvette 47, and the BMW with 44. That's the starting fuel. However, the tank is open. So once they make their stop, they can fuel these cars to the end. So it will always only be a 1 stop for them. Looking at a stop at around about lap 32 in our main race, BMWs will have to pit a little bit early, but they do fill quicker, so an extra bit of information will help us with our understanding of where everybody is at across the evening. I can tell you as well, after round 1, of course, the series standings follow basically the race results. So we did have Luke Bergens, Tom Katsadonis and Dennis Katarik as our top 3 drivers. Of course, Dennis Katarik, an AM driver in this second leg. So is Josh Perwin. Simon Nicholson there, our top 5 drivers in the category. Matty Carleone sitting in 6th after that sort of late race fall down last week. But he'll be looking to make an amends this week here in Montreal. So we've just got a few minutes to go now. Sorry, there's a little bit of a miss. But we've got a few minutes to go here in practice before we get into a 2-lap open qualifying session. And, sorry, a 10-minute open qualifying session even. And then we'll get underway with our first race this evening. 25 minutes. Average lap time at the moment looking around about that mid 132. So looking at roughly a race length of around about 16 laps in the first race. Then we'll get on to the second race, which obviously will be a little bit longer than that, being 45 minutes. So we've got 15 drivers in tonight so far. We've got 2 Corvettes, and then a reasonably balanced grid with 5 Porsches and 7 BMWs. 8 BMWs actually, as one more just pops into the server. Get in nice and early. Just mention the series sponsor HJ Plant Repairs. Been on board for this first season and continued on into the second season as well. So good to have them along for the ride and for the second season of this championship. Wherever you are around Australia joining us, hope you are keeping well. I'm in Melbourne through our first couple of consecutive quite warm days, so very much enjoying the cool change that came through late this afternoon. Track temperature for tonight's race is fixed, so the drivers Won't have to guess a little bit. We'll just put that up on the side of the screen there. Thanks very much for the like, Andy. Appreciate you tuning in. We've got 23 degrees on track temperature fix, so that's quite cool. So the driver shouldn't have too many issues with tyres, and a reasonably strong tailwind there as well. I'll jump back on board now with Luke Bergens, who's going out on another flying lap. He's the fastest man on track at the moment with a 1:31.91. He's going to be looking to make it 2 in a row tonight. Here without either of his teammates, actually, so he's going to be fighting it alone again. He just aborts that lap. 2.5 minutes to go here on the official practice session. Thanks very much for the like there, Tom. I noticed you're not out there tonight, mate, so that's very much a pity after your drive last week. So I hope everything is well, and we'll see you back out there again soon. Some exciting news as well today to share with you. The plans continue here at FGM ECast for 2021. As I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, I actually managed to secure a high-speed internet connection for next season, and what that means is that we'll be able to broadcast to you in 4K. So if you have the ability to watch in 4K, we will be streaming across our platforms where possible. Not all the platforms support it. But certainly YouTube does, and we will be bringing it to you in the crispest, is that not even a word? In the crispest of formats where we can. So that's some change that we've been working on now for a little while. Had some stream issues throughout the year where it sort of dropped in and out of even 1080, so quality there is just not good enough if it drops below that. So it's an exciting development for us, and as I said, something we've been working on now for a little while, but that will be coming in 2021 on FGM ECast, so there'll be more announcements as we get through, not necessarily the remainder of the year. We'll probably keep most of them for the early part of next year, but yeah, certainly pleased to be able to finally get that one across the line. We have been working hard on it, and managed to source the right equipment to get it done. Be back in the office streaming as well, which will be great. Bring you back the double cameras as we had last year as well, earlier this year as well. Get back into that full office setup that we've got there as the official practice session comes to a close, and appropriately we're on board with Glenn Boyd. Does his fastest lap of the practice session on that ride around. So let's head into qualifying here. And remember that purple is the colour of the session. What you're wanting to see down the bottom of the screen is purple sectors. So I'm going to leave the ticker on with the best times that people present. And it's going to be about track position here. Already got a few drivers out and on track. Luke Bergens, the first of those. And important to get the track position. Looks like he just dropped out there, however. And he's back on track again now. Suggesting that Brady Buchanan's actually the first one out on a flying lap. So let's stick on with Brady Buchanan in the M&M liveried Porsche. He's still coming to terms with that car. A few issues last week. One of my favourite liveries though. Everyone loves an M&M. Not all that partial to the peanut ones, but certainly the crispy and original. The way to go. Drivers really only get 4 flying laps here, maybe 5 at a push. But it's going to be Brady Buchanan who sets the pace. As he gets towards the end of his flying lap. Just got the chicane to go. Get underneath the Dodge sign, around about the 200 metre board, jump on the anchors, and use the curb not too aggressively because it can pump you wide if you run on it too hard. And he'll obviously go provisional pole to start off with. And he's done a 1:43.96, already trumped, in fact, by Matty P. Johnson in the Corvette, who had a really good showing last week with a 1:41.96. Luke Bergen's purple, I mean, it's fastest of the session so far. This is approaching the hairpin. And we're looking to get a good drive out of that corner, get underway, maximise his speed down the back straight. It's kind of the front straight, really, actually, when you look at it. Come through the chicane here on the brakes. You see him use plenty of curb there on that inside, just to get the car to slow a little bit, as he can carry more speed into the corner and use the curbing to slow the car. And Bergens does go pole position, a 1:31.91. The fastest by some margin so far. As Matty Cartaglione, Josh Perwin, Glenn Boyd all come through the turnstiles. 1:32.5 for Matty Cartaglione, so he's half a second down on Luke Bergens. Bergens, of course, going around again. He'll try and put in another flyer. Looking for those purple sectors again. Sam Lehman drops in a 33.41. We've got Daniel Webster with a 33.74. Matty Johnson 34.72, as I said earlier. So it's still reasonably close at the front, about half a second covering our top 5 drivers. Still more purple for Bergens, though. He's going to go quicker this lap. I think he's going to go into the low 31s here. He's got the chicane to navigate. We'll see where he gets to here as he crosses the line. And it was a 31.82, so only a tenth quicker there. He lost a little bit in that last sector, not his fastest third sector. There's Josh Perwin, who's right behind him here, has dropped in a 32.49 to move himself up onto the front row. So at the moment, a battle of Porsche and BMW. Simon Nicholson in third now, Matty Cartaglione in fourth. Neither going faster on their next lap around than their first lap. In fact, their second lap's not counting. Must have got off tracks there as well, just to remove those from it. So we've got 3:58 here. So the drivers are going to have to put in their laps. So you just see here Luke Bergen's jumped into pit lane. Pit lane alarm going off there. So we'll see. Who else is on a fly here? Josh Purwin's about to come across the line. He's gone green himself. So 1:32.45, just ever so slightly moving his fastest lap up, but it has been beaten. Simon Nicholson up into second, a 1:32.33. Martin Crisp also at the same time doing a 1:32.40. So we've got a very close battle here for front row of the grid. 32.33 rolling through to a 32.59 down in 6th position. So it's going to be a matter of who can get the lap on the board to get the start alongside Luke Bergens. Doesn't look like anyone's going to get on top of his lap, a 31.82. Just on 3 minutes to go. Could happen, but it's a very, very tidy lap from Bergens. Pretty much what we've come to expect from him. But can Martin Crisp get the job done? He's got green in the first 2 sectors. A little slower through sector 2. In fact, closest at this stage is actually Josh Purwin. So let's have a look at him. It's a little bit further up the road. He's got his personal fastest sectors 2 and 3. Just needs to complete the lap cleanly. See if he can drop up. He's only 5/100ths of a second off 3rd place. And he jumps straight up into 2nd place. It's a cracking lap from Josh. Oh, and at exactly the same time, Martin Crisp goes by as well with almost a 32 flat. So he's getting closer to that Bergen's time. There is time for him to do one more lap. And see if he can snatch pole position from Luke Bergens. Bergen's out on track at the moment. He may not get that lap done in time. Just depends on how much run-on time there is here on qualifying. Last couple of weeks hasn't been a lot, so... Minutes to go. Get through the hairpin. Crisp is up. Ever so slightly in sector 1. Sector 2. Just slightly down. Josh Purwin's gone faster in sector 1. His sector 2 time is down. So, a bit of variation in the laps here. A lot of curb there. As Crisp comes across the start-finish line, where does it put him? 1:32.19, not able to improve on it. Neither was Josh. So they're going to stick where they are. I think Simon Nicholson's out of time. And Luke Bergens, what does he do with his last effort around in qualifying? 32.18. So even that lap there, able to take fastest. So that drops us to the end of qualifying. Nice and close. It means the race is going to be frantic at the start with the state of the track. Let's have a quick look at our grid now. So off pole position, we've got Luke Bergens, Martin Crisp joining him as close a home Grand Prix as it can be. We've got Josh Purwin, Simon Nicholson off row 2 with Matty Cartaleone and Sam Lehman off row 3. Great result for Sam there. Glenn Boyd and Christopher Hughes off row 4 with Daniel Webster and Lee Harrison off row 5. It's Justin Swikert and Mike Casey off row 6. And then as we head back, we've got Matty P. Johnson and Brady Buchanan off row 7 and Hayden Jackson bringing it up from the rear of the field in position 15. So we'll be a rolling start here tonight, as I said before. First race is a 25-minute fixed time race. There won't be any pit stops in this first race, so it is a sprint race in the truest sense of the expression, before we have a 10-minute intermission and jump back in with a 45-minute reverse grid race here on FGM ECast. As I said, the race is brought to you by HJ Plant Repairs, the series sponsor now for the second season in a row, and are we happy that we've got them on board and their support. Thank you guys for supporting the race. Of course, our series, I should say our channel partners, AFTERSHOCK PC, your sim, your rig, your choice, Virtual Motorsport mentor Chris Purnell and the team, and of course Ferguson Group Media. That's the list of the sponsors. We'll give them a little bit more airtime later on in the coverage. Right now, ready to get this one underway. As I said, it is a rolling start here at Gilles-Villeneuve. Just waiting for the clock to tick over. Got everyone on the grid here, so it shouldn't be too long before the Porsche is off, and there it goes there, in fact. And we're going to get this one underway. So it's just the length of the back straight. The safety car will peel off. We'll have the chicane, and then we'll be off and running into what will be a hectic first lap here. Under the control of Luke Bergens. Gotta wait for the light to go green. Waiting for that to happen. They should bunch up now, as the field does. Just gotta be careful not to bunch up too much. And we are go here for the first of two races tonight. 3 wide down into the chicane. That's not going to work. Trying to make room using plenty of the curbing to get everyone through, but it does look like everyone made their way through here on lap 1. A few more hairy things to get through. Matty P. Johnson with a little bit of an issue there. Cold tyres. Very easy just to clip one of the walls here on this early part of the lap. Let's get down here. Heavy braking turn. Got to get the car turned in nice and late through there. On the gas as early as you can. Things underway as we make our way for first time down to the slower of the one of the slower chicanes. A great camera angle here, so we get to see the cars on the exit of the corner and make their way through. Daniel Webster got a little bit of a touch there in the background, and now down to the hairpin for the first time. Plenty of exit room here. It can be a place where we see lots of drivers outbrake themselves. In fact, in the background there, we saw just that. I think it might have been, just trying to work it out actually who that was. Might have been Justin Schweikert. No, it wasn't. It was in fact Mike Casey who went off in the background there. So he's now got some work to do as Luke Bergens gets through the chicane to bring us through the end of lap 1 of this 25-minute race. Under pressure from Martin Crisp as well in the BMW. Fantastic looking livery on that one for XRC, I believe. Josh Perwin, Matty Cartaleone right behind him. Trying to unfold some of the stuff on lap 1. We did have an accident early on. I'm just going to very quickly jump back to that in a replay. Let's have a look here at what happened. This is back in the mid-pack, in fact, towards the rear of the field. I think this might explain that out-braking manoeuvre. Yeah, it does. There's a bit of a punch there. Looked like Christopher Hughes and Mike Casey were involved in that one. So that impacted on their races early on as we jump back on board with Luke Bergens. Everyone's still going though, so despite that early incident, a small amount of damage to the car. 21 to go. The gap's opening here. Bergen's about a second out in front of Martin Crisp. We've got Josh Perwin and Matty Cartaleone still within distance if there are any mishaps for our race leaders. Matty Cartaleone be looking to chase down Josh Perwin. The main battles are actually a little bit further back in the field here. We've got Harrison, Hughes, Buchanan all battling away. That's for 8th, 9th and 10th respectively. So they're a little bit more orderly down into the hairpin. Which is the way to do it. Everyone gets through. The only way to win a race is to be there at the end, of course. Little bit outbreak there, but able to use that curb. Oh no, he has just clipped the wall there. Christopher Hughes, that slowed him down. Almost got away with it, trying to use the curbing to slow him down. He's going to have to defend here really hard. Lee Harrison trying to get down underneath him into turn 1. He's going to get it done, but Christopher Hughes is going to have the advantage on the exit. And just managing to protect his position after that. A little bit of a mishap coming out of the chicane. And he'll be on it now, and you can see there, and he's gone too hard. He's clipped that wall. Very easy to push you out there, so he's exposed again here. He's really trying to wrestle that BMW around to keep that position down on the inside there, and that pushes Lee Harrison wide. And he does manage just to keep that position. He's going to have to get control of himself here. It's going to be very easy for him to put that BMW into the wall and do some decorating here in Canada. So under brakes here, one of the slower corners on the track, and it looks like Brady Buchanan has got one up there on Lee Harrison. He's just outbraked himself as well, so a few issues here. It looks like the teammates Hughes and Nicholson now able to try and maybe work together in those XRC BMWs and make some progress away from the following battle pack. But Lee Harrison now under pressure from Brady Buchanan. Mike Casey looking to pounce as well in that white BMW. Almost clipped the wall there on the run onto the back straight. He's having a big look down the inside here. You're a brave man to try and get it done down there. Got to be well and truly clear. Those curbs very aggressive there, and you can see that because Hayden Jackson has had a spin and he's moved across trying to do the right thing. Brady Buchanan, I should say, as well, having an issue down there. So that means that now there's a little bit of breathing space. Mike Casey moves up into the top 10. Lee Harrison as well has a gap, and Christopher Hughes and Simon Nicholson are now 7th and 8th respectively. A good battle going on down there in the pack. These two teammates not leaving anything aside either, as you can see Simon Nicholson there getting round the outside as they head up into the chicane. One of the few chicanes. I've got to learn the numbers of these corners, to be brutally honest, because it's not that descriptive telling you it's another chicane. But I'm doing my very best here tonight. It is a hot night at the end of a long day in Victoria. Lee Harrison back in the battle here. So these BMWs, the XRC BMWs, not getting much of a break whatsoever. And it is now Christopher Hughes under threat from that Tide-sponsored Corvette. Tide washing powder, never used it, but it makes the cars look great. Never use washing powder on your car. It is a joke. But the XRC car of Simon Nicholson just able to defend through the hairpin there. And he'll next be under threat. Probably out of the back end of this aggressive chicane to end the lap. Tide car they're using the draft. He's not going to be able to get it done down there. Probably trying to worry the BMW of Nicholson into an error, and not sure what's happened there, but you've got Simon Nicholson who's moved and dropped a few places. Oh, a big dive from Lee Harrison there. And not quite able to get it done. Looking to move that Corvette up onto the outside of the BMW if he can to get the move done. Not quite able to get there, so plenty of action here in the mid-pack in the first run for tonight. Bodes well for the second race as well, where these guys run a reverse grid, so we're going to have some good battles right throughout the field, so don't go anywhere. Hughes there just dropping the right-hand wheel onto the curbing, upsetting the BMW a bit. That upset his drive out of the corner. He might be under threat here from the Corvette. Again, just moving to the outside. Good defending here from Hughes. He's going to be able to close that. Oh, no, he's gone around in the chicane. So, that's not going to help him at all, and it's going to mean that Lee Harrison takes that position. Simon Nicholson now going to put pressure back on him to get the job done. Big dive down the inside here on the hairpin. Should get the switchback if he can do it. Harrison, no, not quite able to do it, so that BMW gets the job done. Nicholson now up into 7th. Note in the background there that Daniel Webster and Justin Schweikert have had an incident as well, so we'll have a look at that when we can. But keep our eyes set firmly on the battle here between Nicholson and Harrison for 7th and 8th as they head down into the final chicane. Bring the lap to a close using plenty of curb there. The Corvette not really liking that. You can see the huge gap that's opened up as a consequence of that one. Getting a lot of the underbelly of the car there onto the exit curbing. Probably just a little bit too much, but that won't slow for too long. So we start yet another lap here. 15 minutes to go. It's been non-stop in the first race for this evening. HJ Plant Repairs Oz Pro-Am Sim Series here on FGM ECast, your E-Place for Pace. Harrison there, using bits of the track that he doesn't necessarily pay for, but the gardener will thank him for it. As he tries now to close that gap to Simon Nicholson. While he does, we'll quickly just jump up to Luke Bergen's race leader at the moment and doing it comfortably. Currently, gap is sitting at around about 2.5 seconds, nearly 3 seconds actually. So, Bergen's here just looking to bank some more points in this one. Martin Crisp doing a good job in 2nd at the moment. In fact, his last lap around, almost the fastest lap of the race. Crisp there just behind him. Christopher Hughes tells us he's had another off, along with Daniel Webster as well. So have a quick look at that. Oh no. Oh, not really an episode at all, just a light contact between the two. Head back live now. You can see Martin Crisp. You can see the gap there between him and Luke Bergens at the front of the field. So it's spread a little bit at the front here now between Bergens, Crisp, Perwin and Matty Cartaleone. Around 10 seconds covering those front 4 cars. Next closest battle, in fact, is actually this one here. Matty Johnson and Hayden Jackson. Ben Motorsport Park liveried Porsche. I've said it many times. Still one of the best looking liveries I've seen. I believe put together by Frank Kodak. Fantastic facility over there in Adelaide, the Ben Motorsport Park. Jump across and have a look there. Oh no, as there's heavy contact with the wall there for Hayden Jackson. And in fact, I think Brady Buchanan might have followed him along. You now see that Porsche with a re-engineered rear wing on it. And a fair bit of understeer as well. So we'll have to make do with how that thing drives. Only 10 minutes to go, 11.5 minutes to go. So jump on board now with Glenn Boyd. One of the more consistent performers in Season 1. I haven't seen a lot of him in Season 2, but good to see him back out on track now. And the Boyd Racing liveried now M8 BMW. course, Jack Boyd was Series 1 winner in the Oz Pro-Am Sim Series, so not quite back to defend his title. He's got plenty going on, of course, Jack, trying to make his way into the 911 Championships for iRacing, so plenty of other things going on. Wish him well while he is doing that, but as I said, great to have Glenn Boyd back here. Doing a good job too in 5th in the M8. I think they've got the balance of power just about right in the GTE category. Between the M8 and the Porsche. Certainly over a longer distance as well, the two cars seem to be relatively equal. Be very interesting to see how the Corvette, which dominated GT racing in 2020 as it was, and interesting to see how that fares into next year in iRacing. Car, of course, relatively new as well. Released a couple of builds ago. We've had a lot of new content coming out on iRacing over the COVID period and just slightly beyond. And a lot of it is because of the COVID period. So, enabled a massive amount of growth on the iRacing platform, which resulted in a whole heap of new content, particularly with the pro drivers joining the ranks, or those who already joined the ranks, like Shane Van Gisbergen and Max Verstappen and the like, who already race on iRacing anyway, but that's part of their lives getting highlighted and drawing plenty of attention to the platform. It's sort of plateaued a little bit now, but certainly a good boost to the sport. Oh no, that's a very sad looking Matty Carleone Porsche there. Didn't actually get any notification that he went off anywhere, so perhaps a slowdown through the sector times. Yeah, so you got a slowdown there in sector 2, and that was enough to allow Glenn Boyd up into 4th position. So he will now be chasing the Boyd machine. Jump on board with Matty for a lap. Particularly through this chicane, you'll see how harsh it is. Getting the car up on 2 wheels there. Push the car right out to the wall. Just want to use as much of the track as possible. Matty pushing very hard here. You can see that in the body language of the car. Very small tap on the wall there. Oh, the Porsche getting a little bit loose. Said he's pushing very hard here to get back up onto the back of Glenn Boyd in the BMW. Glenn will be fully aware that he's there. Oh, there he goes, Boyd. Through the chicane, he's just lost the back end of the M8. And that's let Matty Carleone go back through. And in fact, Sam Lehman has taken advantage as well. As Glenn Boyd gets that back underway. Gets the car moving. It's disappointing. Doesn't look like there's any damage to the M8 though, just an innocent rotation. And that has let Matty Cardleone, Sam Lehman and Simon Nicholson move up another place each. So Matty back up into 4th, where he'd be happy being. Obviously prefer to be further up the field, but it's not a bad place to consolidate from. Of course, that means he will start on the second last row of the grid if things remain the same, with just under 6 minutes to go here in the first race here at Gilles-Villeneuve. I should say Gilles-Villeneuve, sorry. Showing my age there. More familiar with the work of Jacques than his father. As Josh Perwin has crashed as well. That is no good at all. Let's have a look at that. That was our 3rd place sitter. What has happened here? It's been bad enough that he has had to call a tow. Oh, wow, yeah, he's rotated it round. Oh, and then he's absolutely just smashed it into the wall and put that one on the Jimmy Barnes, on the tin lids. And that is all over for him. That will mean he will start, however, from pole position in the main race coming up in around about 15 minutes time. So, not all sour, but means that he can make a run for it effectively. He won't have really wanted that at all. So the gap here at the front has narrowed ever so slightly between Bergens and Crisp, just under 2 seconds. That's a whopping 20 seconds back to Matty Cardleone, so Crisp and Bergens really have been in a race of their own. Just a 10th between them in the terms of the fastest lap of the race overall. And matching lap time for lap time last time around, so can't really see the gap changing too much. I need to manage from here, plenty of petrol to get home. In fact, they'll finish this race with around about 3 litres left, enough for another lap. There will only be a couple to go. So we're going to get 2 more laps here, I think. Certainly will. So let's jump on board with Luke Bergens. We're going to take us for a ride around this track as we get underway. It'll be the second last lap of the first race tonight. There it is, a full lap around here. As you can see, there's no real rest for the drivers at all. This will be the white flag we've received, so last lap around. So we've got Matty Cartaleone in third, Martin Crisp in second, and Luke Bergens, as you can see on screen, leading this one. Well, it's ablaze now. Sunset in Canada. Of course, this track probably almost covered in snow this time of the year. Around the hairpin one last time for this first race tonight. And Luke Bergens will bring home the win. There it is, a good result for Luke Bergens to take home the first part of this evening's affairs, followed by Martin Crisp, good drive from him too, as well in second, and Matty Cartaleone grabbing that third place as well. So well done from Martin and from Matty as well. And we'll now go into a 10-minute warm-up session for the feature race tonight. 45 minutes reverse grid. Should be coming up shortly. Around about 10 minutes or so. We'll just wait for the results to come through, and we'll bring those up on screen for you. We get it's about, as I said, about 10-minute warm-up session between these two runs. Some of the drivers will use that, particularly if they've got a part of the track that they might want to work on after the racing session. And we'll take a short break and come back prepared and ready to go for the 45-minute reverse grid feature race. We'll be up shortly. Set in around about 10 minutes time, so don't go too far away, because we will be back with that. Just waiting for this session to kick over. Won't take too long, hopefully. And there we go. So bring up the results of Heat 1. So it was Bergens from Crisp. We had Cartaleone, Nicholson, Lehman running at the top 5. Then Glenn Boyd, Lee Harrison, Justin Schweikert, even, my apologies, a good result there from him as well, driving from the rear of the field. Mike Casey and Daniel Webster rounding out the top 10. We had Matty Johnson, Brady Buchanan, Christopher Hughes, Hayden Jackson and Josh Perwin rounding out the 15 runners in this race. And so, of course, the reverse grid race will come in about 5 minutes. And we will be back with you for that one. And it will be Josh Perwin off pole position. This will be a race out of misfortune that he will be looking to convert. And we'll be back with you in just a few moments. Okay, so we're about to get underway here for race 2, 45-minute sprint race reverse grid. It is going to be Hayden Jackson and Josh Perwin leading us away here at the start. Keep an eye on Josh Perwin. He will be trying to run as fast as he can to ensure that Luke Bergen's Martin Crisp don't catch up to him. 45 minutes. There will be a pit stop in this race. It is time certain and we're off and running. Hopefully we're going to have a nice clean start here like we did in race 1. Those faster drivers will be looking to make their way through the pack as quickly as they can. 4 wide down into turn 1. That number will never work. As we can just see there, Josh Perwin cutting across the chicane. He's going to lose a few places. So it is Hayden Jackson out in front, followed by Brady Buchanan. We've got Josh Perwin now in third. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars down into the second chicane. Make their way through in this lap. Martin Crisp, Glenn Boyd. Luke Bergen's already up to 9th, up 6 spots. Not even halfway around the first lap. Good start from him, as it is Hayden Jackson out in front. In fact, Josh Perwin there slowing down, coming almost to a stop in fact. Going very, very slowly, in fact almost causing an accident there. Oh, it's unfortunate there. It looks like Matty Cartaglione has been smashed into. And might have been Luke Bergen's, who just couldn't pull up in time. Not completely his fault. There's a very, very, very slow moving car on track. Just bottlenecked everyone. Caused that incident. All that being said, it is Hayden Jackson out in front. And Josh Perwin not getting the start that he probably wanted to. I think he got a slowdown penalty for that run across the grass on turn 1 of lap 1, as it is Christopher Hughes looking there to try and get the job done on Brady Buchanan in the M&M entry. He's gonna, a good exit there as well from Hughes. Buchanan just doing enough to stop him from getting up the inside. Battle here is for second and third. Hayden Jackson's cleared out a little bit. And looks like Brady Buchanan just ran wide there. Christopher Hughes able to take that position, so he now moves up into second. Lee Harrison making his way up onto the back of this lead pack. So critical time for this one's going to be around about 15 minutes to go for fuel stops. However, anyone who pits early can fill and probably make the end. So total fuel required for the race around about 80 litres. So there is a certain amount of sense for some of these drivers in maybe even taking that early pit stop and then running the race a little bit solo here. It's easy to get caught in an accident or a battle. So as we see Sam Lehman into pit lane already, so he will be able to fuel himself to the end of this race. A very, very long pit lane here, getting in there to get the job done, but Hayden Jackson trying to make the gap as big as he can. He's currently 2.5 seconds up. Matty Cartaglione driving in anger. 1:32.92, fastest lap so far in this race. In fact, it was the last lap around for him. Sam Lehman may be on his way out already, so he has fueled that car to the brim. And he can run it to the end. He'll be out of the traffic. He won't go a lap down either. So if that is the strategy play from Sam, to run it from now until the end of the race, and keep a fair eye on how that plays out for him. But it is still Hayden Jackson in the lead as we get onto lap 4. Of course, this time certain 45-minute main race here for Oz Pro Am Sim Series, brought to you by HJ Plant Repairs. Saw some good news today, or I think it's good news that Mark Larkham looks like he's going to be reinstated into the V8 Supercar coverage. A decision by, dare we say, in fact we do dare say, administrators or broadcasters completely out of touch with what the existing fans of that series enjoy about the telecast. So I'm glad to see that they've come to some sense and reinstated Larko, trying to appeal to an audience that they don't even have, in spite of the audience they already do have. So good to see them smarten up some reasonably stupid decisions, if I were being frank about it. And I am, because I can. So there you go. But good news, everyone likes a bit of Larko and his explanation of how things work. So Hayden Jackson just adding a little bit of padding to that lead now. He's nearly at 3 seconds in front of Christopher Hughes, who has Brady Buchanan and Lee Harrison to contend with now. As a queue starts to build up behind him, you can see that we've almost got the train started. Hughes, Buchanan, Harrison, Perwin and Luke Bergens on his way through to try and get up to the front of this field. 7 minutes into the race, it's going to get reasonably interesting very quickly. Josh will be kicking himself for that slowdown. He's now battling his way back up to the front of the field. Oh, as Bergens tries to stick the nose down the inside, doesn't quite get it done. Oh, there's a big spin there. Brady Buchanan went off track, so what that means is that Perwin and Bergens both get a free kick from Buchanan and Hughes. Now move up into third and fourth outright, so Lee Harrison now on the defensive. Can he hold the hard-charging Perwin and Bergens off? Three different makes, all battling for podiums at the moment. Lee Harrison in the Corvette. BMW looks like got a better drive out of the corner there. This could be the first move we see down into this chicane. I reckon he's going to get it done too. And Josh Perwin does, gets his car right over there. You can see the rotors on that BMW glowing hot as he tries to pull it up into the chicane. Now Luke Bergen's looking down into turn one to maybe get a move done as well. He'll brake a little later in that portion. He will get that done too. So nice clean moves from Perwin and Bergens on Harrison. Move themselves up into second and third outright. This will be a battle as well. Of course, before that unfortunate incident for Perwin where the BMW rotated. He was running in third. Ended up unfortunately with the tow, finishing second last in the early race. And Bergens, there's a turn in there and the two collide. And there's a big collision there. That is no good at all. Perhaps some broken steering in that M8 that's led to Bergens being pushed in the fence and his car driving more like a lobster than a Porsche. He's going to try and limp that back to pit lane, which he should be able to get done. Just got to try and get it to turn, and he'll use his fast repair to get that car back out on track. That'll alter his pit strategy a lot. That thing not turning, you can see it there, just wanting to go one way completely. And Bergen's just trying to get it back to pit lane to get it repaired. He's still moving along as well, just gives the wall a bump there. Any extra damage isn't really going to make a lot of difference for him as long as he can drive back to pit lane. The drivers around him have to be careful here. He'll go straight ahead, get it pulled up Fortunately, the entrance here not too technical. And albeit that will frustrate him a little bit, he will get well and truly back into this race. Plenty of time to go here. Only just through 10 minutes of a 45-minute race, so that car will magically get a facelift and repair itself. As it does there, you can see there now a brand new Porsche, one of the benefits of sim racing, obviously. Good news here, Hayden Jackson, that does help him out. Now 3.6 seconds up the road from Lee Harrison. Josh Perwin will have some damage on his BMW as a consequence of that impact with Luke Bergens. So it may slow him down a little bit. Obviously no steering damage, the two cars just getting caught up there, and that resulting in that extensive damage to Luke Bergens. Lucky indeed actually that that car did not end up on its lid, and resulting in him needing to get that car towed, which would have cost him a heck of a lot more time. So we've got Sam Lehman, Luke Bergens, who have done their pit stops. They will be fueled to the end. Matty Cartaleone here just battling away with Martin Crisp, of course. Race 1, 2nd and 3rd place getters. Daniel Webster giving a big heavy look at Cartaleone to see if he can maybe get the job done. Up on 2 wheels there from Martin Crisp. Ahead of them is Glenn Boyd, Simon Nicholson, Christopher Hughes. Crisp, of course, finished 2nd in race 1. So now he can do the lap times now. It's just all about now clear air, running nice and consistently, get to that pit window. Matty Cartaleone flashing like a crossing light there, miles off from Martin Crisp. Just letting him know he's there. Not sure how much of a distraction that'll be to Martin. So he keeps things under control in the M8. We'll jump back up to the front now with Hayden Jackson just to check in on him. He's doing well here. Gap has slightly reduced to Lee Harrison, 2.5 seconds at the moment. Really, if he can be nice and consistent in that 33-second-ish range, stands a good chance to convert this one to the win. Early days yet, still 32 minutes to go. As Josh Perwin enters pit lane, perhaps the damage on that BMW too much for him to persist with. This continues to play well into Jackson's hands. A number of the faster runners not having the best of luck early on in the race. That's why we like these reverse grid races. They certainly mix everything up as they're supposed to do. Faster drivers have to be very careful making their way through the field to make sure they're able to get back up to the front and potentially take out the win. That gap is closing. Lee Harrison now in picture. Just had noticed there that Matty Johnson's gone into pit lane as well. Yep, stabilised again, 1.2 seconds. Brady Buchanan, 8 seconds down the road. He's getting a little bit of a hurry along now from Glenn Boyd. And not too far behind him, Martin Crisp and Matty Cartaleone. Second and third in our first race, so it's going to start getting on there. Glenn Boyd getting good drive out of the hairpin. He's got Martin Crisp all over him. So this battle for third heating up here in the reverse grid race. The AUSPASS Pro-Am Sim Series. Brought to you by HJ Plant Repairs. Into pit lane here for the Porsche of Brady Buchanan. Glenn Boyd follows him in directly. Interesting strategies here. Those tanks won't be empty. And what it does is move Matty Cartaleone up into fourth. And we've got Martin Crisp now in third position. So Buchanan, Boyd and Daniel Webster following him in as well. Look at this four-car battle. Hughes, Lehman, Perwin, Nicholson all fighting. This is for position 10, would you believe? 3 wide, nearly 3 wide down into turn 1. Perwin will get the job done here. He's got the right line. In fact, could be a two-pler. Simon Nicholson not quite able to get far enough up on Sam Lehman. Lehman gets very close to the wall there on the exit. Now Nicholson gets the job done down the inside. So Lehman drops back into 9th. Battle for the lead is tightening up. Hayden Jackson, Lee Harrison. Now just 3/10 between the Corvette and the Porsche. Haven't seen the Corvette win yet in AUSPASS. He's certainly hunting the Ben Motorsport Park-backed Hayden Jackson Porsche. Said if you do get over to Adelaide, make your way out to the bend. It's a little bit of a hike, but it's definitely worth it. There's plenty of activity on there. You plan your day. And even if you do just want to jump in and have a look at the facility, they've got a coffee shop there. And a fantastic motorsport foyer with tons of awesome cars. So to jump out there and have a look. And of course, motorsport galore. No, as we've had Hayden Jackson run forward there, he's pulled back out onto the tracks, a little bit dangerous. Lee Harrison with the goggles focused, so able to make sure that he didn't end up wearing the car there. I feel like a little bit of a redress there from Hayden Jackson as well, knowing that he might have potentially done slightly the wrong thing there, which has allowed Lee Harrison up into the lead of this race, 8 spots up in this reverse grid race. A good effort from him thus far. Both drivers still to pit. Get about half a dozen drivers yet to make their stops. The lights are ablaze on that Corvette. Circuit not necessarily set up for night racing. Comes up on the screen there, AFTERSHOCK, your rig, your choice. To say a big thank you to Ryan and the crew at AFTERSHOCK PC Australia. We jumped on board with us when we launched the channel. And partners of ours ever since. We definitely use their PCs for our stream. We get them back up and running. The second one into next year, so we can run that dual camera setup that we do enjoy running, so you can get a look at everything throughout the race, not just what we're focusing on, but saw that they have been absolutely berserk in the lead up to Christmas, pumping out new computers for gamers across the country. So if you're looking for a gaming PC, definitely encourage you to give them a go. They you can buy online and either spec out your own computer or get their advice, and they'll build it for you, get it on its merry way, and all you need to do is unwrap it, plug it in, and get on with the gaming or whatever it is that you do. We also use them for our content creation, our video editing and what have you, so very versatile. So if you are in the market for a new PC, give the guys at AFTERSHOCK your time, and they'll certainly look after you. Customer service second to none. As Matty Cardleone jumps into pit lane, he was in fourth position. Sorry, just getting those adjusted there. There's a little clip of the wall from Lee Harrison there. So that critical time for the BMWs is upon us. Around about 30 minutes into the race. The rest of the guys stopping a little bit early. So we haven't quite reached 25 minutes into the race yet, so they can run as late as 30 minutes into the race. Of course, that would mean with 15 to go, everyone should have made their pit stop. So Matty will rejoin the field in 9th position, fueled and ready to run to the end. What that does is develop a very, very interesting pack here. Sam Lehman, you recall, pit very early. In fact, he pit on lap 2. So that's put him in front of Matty Cardleone by 3 seconds. Cardleone is up on Luke Bergens, who had to pit as well with a substantially damaged car. So these three will battle it out. You can see here that Hayden Jackson is in pit lane, as is Lee Harrison and Martin Crisp. So that means Justin Schweikert is currently in the lead of the race. The two drivers thus far not to have made a pit stop, so he can enjoy some running at the front. We'll reassess the pit lane shuffle in a minute. Give a little bit of coverage to Justin Schweikert while he is at the front of the field. Very tight. Second, third and fourth here. Crisp, Perwin, Nicholson. Lee Harrison not too far off in the background either. So this is actually the battle for our lead. And the gap shears are growing. So Martin Crisp now half a second in front. This will give him the round win as well with his second place in the first race. Albeit Luke Bergen's on his way back. He's currently in 7th position. 7 seconds behind this battle. Just under 8 seconds behind this battle. So certainly isn't over there. Lee Harrison into pit lane. So that then brings Matty Cartaglione and Sam Lehman up into the battle there. So Glenn Boyd has had an off track, so he has dropped a few spots as well, down into 10th. Plenty of curb being used there. Martin Crisp being nice and aggressive. Schweikert in, so Crisp will assume the lead of the race. 17 minutes to go. That'll have everyone through pit lane. But when they're just dropping right off the back of Nicholson, so I'm not sure if he got a slowdown there. Doesn't look like it. Maybe just running a little bit wide. XRC livery is fantastic on those BMWs. Very good looking car. Daniel Webster jumps into pit lane. It's got to be for repairs. I believe he's already done his mandatory stop. Christopher Hughes in pit lane 2. He's going to repairs there, yeah. So big repairs needed on that. He's got his fast repair left, so he's going to get that one done and get back out on track. He will go a lap down though. Martin Crisp just running past. Luke Bergen's now up into 4th. Sam Lehman 5th. Matty Cartaglione into 6th position. We'll just have a quick look at this battle between Lehman and Cartaglione. It's very close indeed. Now 2 series administrators do a fantastic job putting all of this together for us. Fortunate to broadcast, so and they're all over one another. Now Matty Cartaglione looking out the front of the ATMR Porsche. Boys, Lehman gets a big slide on there. Just managing to avoid the wall. BMW Porsche, very good under brakes. It's all about the exit here though. You can see there, Lehman getting a really good drive off the corner. Matty Cartaglione again back on the headlights. It's a trade of his. Damaged rear wing not helping him, no doubt, down this back straight. BMW of Lehman's, looking to be in showroom condition. Only driven low Ks on a Tuesday night to church and back. Luke Bergen's up in the fourth, 4.5 seconds off Josh Purwin, 8 seconds off the lead. Still lapping about half a second a lap quicker than our race leader, so everyone in between as well around the same time as him. It's going to be a difficult challenge for him to get up onto the podium. Maybe able to get it done with Purwin in front of him. Of course, catching him's one thing, getting past him is another. It is a BMW lockout at the front at the moment. .5 to go. Gap's now down to 3.2 seconds, back to Josh from Purwin to Bergens. Bergens there with a big slide, that's not going to help his chances. Second race just hasn't quite gone his way. Get into dusk. On board now with Martin Crisp. You can almost feel the calm here. But I can tell you, there is another BMW not too far behind, wanting to take Martin Crisp's spot. And it is that of Simon Nicholson. So, battle's certainly not over for the teammates. It's been a good night for XRC Racing, actually. They've performed very well here. I think they're actually should take out the round win. Thanks very much for the follow there, Kashiki. You'll join us at the right time. We've got 8.5 minutes to go here. It's on board with Simon Nicholson and Martin Crisp battling for the lead. Estimating about 9 laps to go. I'm not sure we'll get there. Looking more like that we've got around about 7 laps to go. Maybe even less than that with only 8 minutes left. But the battle here very much heading up at the front after 45 minutes. It's two teammates battling it out to see who can take out round 2 of the American segment of the Oz Pro-Am Sim Series. Brought to you by HJ Plant Repairs on, of course, FGM ECast, your E-Place for pace. And the move might quite be on here. Simon Nicholson thought he might be able to get it done, maybe down into the chicane. I reckon he'll try and set something up as we head down towards the hairpin. Josh Purwin off in the background there. In fact, his gap stabilised to Luke Bergen's in 4th. So really here, this is where it's all at. Rotors ablaze in the nighttime sky. Obviously changes brake markers and things like that for the drivers as well. The ability to see them gets that much more difficult, particularly on a track like this where it's not set up for nighttime racing. Of course, we are in Canada at Gilles-Villeneuve. Chris doing a good job there to just withstand the pressure. Other battles going on through the pack. So Hayden Jackson just getting past Glenn Boyd to move up into 9th. Getting a note there, Matty Carleone having it off, and he has indeed. Just at the start of the lap. He's gone straight ahead into the wall. It's dropped him a few positions back as well, so now running in 8th. Chris Nicholson and Purwin. Top 3 drivers. 4 laps to go in this main race. Still trying to set it up here. Not going to get far enough under. Chris doing a really good job defending, actually. Just watching his line, being sure that he can't suddenly sneak the car down the inside. Chris trying to take out the win. 3 minutes left. There's 2 tenths between our front two runners, teammates. It's allowed Josh Purwin to close the gap a little bit, but really Purwin in his own battle with Luke Bergens for third on the podium. But it is Crisp and Nicholson, 2 tenths between them, who will take it out. XRC Racing here, well represented, doing a great job. It's going to be 2 more laps after this one. And Nicholson just not able to get the job done here. I haven't actually seen him come out and try either. There's a chance that he's just settling in for second place here to make sure that the team get the job done. Keep an eye as we get down onto the main straight here through the final chicane. Both drivers using all the curb. Fantastic looking 1-2. Purwin and Bergens going to battle for the last 2 laps as well. So 2:13 to go. This will be the penultimate lap here in Canada. Crisp and Nicholson settling in to make sure that they get the result for the team. So we'll keep a focus on this Purwin-Bergens battle. Three tenths between these two as well. Rest of the field reasonably stable. Bergens has a big look down the inside and not enough room there to get it done. He's going to redress. There's plenty of gap between them and the cars behind them, so that'll allow Purwin to keep going. Good driving there from Luke Bergens. Obviously, move not quite on, but didn't wreck either's race and has allowed Purwin to take back the position. We've been penalised after the race anyhow, and they'll go around for the final lap and battle it out to see who can take third position. XRC guys just holding steady at the front. Lee Harrison having a few issues. It's been a great drive from Crisp and Nicholson though. We go through the hairpin for the final time. It is going to be Crisp and Nicholson. We're going to bring this one home. Luke Bergens has taken Josh Purwin. He is now up into third. He did it down through the hairpin. Purwin's going to try and attack him back through the chicane if he can. He's got the benefit of the draft here. Bergens is going to defend as heavily as he can down the inside, but here it is, Purwin flashing down the inside. Trying to get a mistake out of Bergens. That's not going to work. He's far too experienced for that, but it was worth the effort. And it is going to be Martin Crisp and Simon Nicholson who take home the 1-2 for XRC Racing. A fantastic result for them. And a great drive from Luke Bergens. Suffered that early setback, but managed to make his way back up to the front of the field. And he will take out the round win, I believe. In fact, no, actually, it will be Martin Crisp who should take out the round win after his efforts in the first race, finishing second and first. Sorry about that there, the mic just dropping out. So we're going to try and get the drivers in here for a chat. And a good result overall for them all. In fact, Martin's just jumped straight in there. Martin, welcome to the coverage.
Thank you. How you doing?
Yeah, very well, thank you. And Simon's jumped in as well. A great result for XRC Racing there, a 1-2 at the end of that one. Was there a little bit of team orders in play there, or just the defending got the job done for you?
No team orders. We were definitely pushing each other. I just decided to, knowing how difficult it is to pass on this track, I just decided to not make any mistakes. So not, drop it back a notch and just try not to make mistakes. Because when I was driving normally, I made a few mistakes and that brought Simo into me. And so I figured, I should just play it safe and bring it home.
And what's the story of the team there? Obviously, Martin, are you still based in Canada, or are you're local but obviously racing under your national flag?
No, I moved from Canada to Melbourne about almost 3 years ago, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
2 3/4 years ago. And so now I'm based in Melbourne. And hopefully I'm saying that right now because I've been here long enough. I should be saying that right. But because I used to say Melbourne and now it's Melbourne. So there you go. They've trained me well here.
And I did hear you say during the practice session that this is not necessarily your local track because they speak French.
Yeah, so Canada is a bilingual country.
Of course,
so,
Quebec being French.
Yeah, so French and English.
Mm-hmm.
And so Quebec is all French, and that's where this track is in Montreal.
Yep.
I have some good friends that are in Montreal, but the rest of Canada, we all love to hate Quebec, and they all love to hate us. So the rest of us, that's just the way it is. But obviously I have some great friends in Montreal and in Quebec, so it's good.
Very similar.
But yeah, this is not my home track. Mosport, Canadian Tire and Motorsport Park would be my home track.
Be your home track, yeah. I was going to say, very similar to our relationship with New Zealand. It's
yes.
not okay for anyone else to pay out New Zealand other than Australia. So I can understand the relationship that you've got there. But no, a really good drive tonight.
Knowing that thing you have with New Zealand, whenever people mistake me for American, I always say, "Oh, you're from New Zealand, you're a Kiwi," and they get the point pretty quickly.
Yeah, I imagine they would. And obviously a good result in the first race as well, taking out second there, which I think will get you the round win as well. Simon, a good drive from you, up 10 spots as well, so to take out second position tonight.
Yeah, cheers. It was a struggle from the start, obviously. And yeah, first off, well done to Crispy. Good race for him, good win. We were both on the comeback from the first lap. We both got taken out by one of the top drivers, unfortunately. But yeah, it was just a comeback drive after that. And timed the pit stop a bit wrong, came out in some traffic, but that's racing,
Yeah, absolutely.
Other than that, it was a good race, yeah.
I thought it was probably even cleaner than I was expecting. Obviously, the hairpin here, notorious for creating havoc, and equally early in the lap with those faster chicanes, able to catch people out on the walls, on the outside edges of the exits. I didn't see too much of that tonight, and I did see earlier on there was an incident with a very slow-moving car that caused a xylophone effect through the field as well. So I think that might be the incident that you're referring to.
I'm not too sure. I'd have to go back through the replay, but it was pretty early on in the first lap. Normally, try and drive a bit easy, take a bit of care. It's a 45-minute race, but some people obviously didn't see it that way.
Tried to get a little bit aggressive. Next week, excited for the new track?
Yeah, I guess so.
What's next week?
Next week, you are off to Long Beach.
Oh no!
I guess the biggest question is, can everyone get through the pace lap cleanly?
It could be interesting. It could be very, very interesting. Long Beach is a good track that they've brought into it. Certainly in IndyCar circuits, it's going to be interesting to see you guys get the GTEs around there as well. Luke, you've jumped into the chat. A good comeback drive from you as well. After a couple of incidents throughout the race, but managing to bring home third place.
Yeah, she was a pretty chaotic race. So you got a bit lucky to come back to where I did in the end. It was a lot of hard work. Tell you that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we were just touching on it. Unfortunately, I think Matty Cartaglione copped a little bit of a rear ender from you early on. It was a very, very slow-moving car that caused a xylophone effect through the field, and unfortunately, you're the last one in there. I think that might have been on lap 1 or 2. A little bit of damage there, and then unfortunately that incident that turned your Porsche into a crab. Fortunately, a little late in the lap, so you're able to get back to pit lane and get it repaired. But certainly a hard race for you to come back from there.
Yeah, for sure. It was that second lap or first lap, whatever it was. It was just concentrating from there. I think Josh had a slowdown and he punched the field right back up onto the back straight there, and I seen that Cardo rear-ended him and checked up, and obviously I just didn't have enough time to check up and turn Cardo around. So yeah, that was on me, and then. Yeah, the other stack, it just,
just got stuck together.
Yeah.
By the look of it, we were unfortunately on you when it happened, so we saw the whole thing unfold, but fortunately didn't impact, well, it impacted, but didn't impact too much on your race. You're able to drive it back through the field, so another strong performance from yourself, and obviously congratulations for the win in race 1 as well. So you should still come out on top at the end of this one. As we usually do, Martin, Simo, of course, teammates, anyone that you'd like to thank for this evening?
I want to thank Simo for not passing me on the last lap. That was very nice of him. But yeah, no, I'd like to thank our team at Team XRC and our sponsors, LearnSetup.com, where you can learn to create your own setups, Track Racer, and RC Maker. Oh, and also SimCore. I use their Indy 19 wheel. It's quite nice.
Tell us a little bit more about the Learn Your Own Setup.
Yeah, so the name of our team, XRC, is that we come from a bunch of radio control race car drivers.
Right.
I did it for like 30 years. Simo is a national champion many times over here in Australia. I am back in Canada. And so through that process, I learned a lot about car setup.
Yep.
And I applied that in a little website that a lot of radio control car racers use all around the world. And so now I've got a version of it that works for iRacing. It takes into consideration all the specifics of iRacing. So basically, you can learn the theory of how to create your own setups.
Oh, fantastic!
LearnSetup.com.
LearnSetup.com. And is that a free thing or a subscription thing that people can get involved in?
It's a minor subscription. I think it's a couple of bucks a month.
Yep. And just through the website?
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, fantastic. Sounds very interesting indeed. And Simo, anyone to add to the list, mate?
No, all the same sponsors as Crispy mentioned. Yeah, just thanks to all the XRC team, and thanks to Crispy for the good race.
Yeah, it was good fun, man.
Luke, last but not least.
Just a massive thank you to HM Engineering, all their sponsors that are on board, and the boys for putting on the show, and you for showcasing it for everyone.
No worries at all. It's my pleasure, and luckily we're already talking about next year, which is good to hear, because this is a good one that we want to get back up and running again next season as well. We've got plenty to come on the remainder of the year. Of course, this one runs right through until early February, so I'm very, very keen for next week, Long Beach. In fact, a little bit of useless information. The people that developed iRacing used to run an IndyCar game back. I don't know, some of you might already know this. The Papyrus software back Long Beach IndyCar is around about where my racing began, when I think I was probably 6 or 7 years old. So I'm looking forward to going back there next week. It should be a good one.
How old are you, Stu?
Yeah, well, I'm 37 actually. So.
Oh, you're just a baby. Come on.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to start throwing daggers out into the atmosphere. That's never very good for business. But certainly remember that one back on the old 386 or 486 back in the day. So pretty sure I played it with a keyboard. So nowhere near where we're at this stage of proceedings. But thank you, gentlemen, for joining us, and congratulations again on the podium and the 1-2 for the team as well. Martin and Simo, a great drive for the night.
Thanks, Stu, for putting this on tonight. Appreciate it, and congrats, Luke, for third. That's awesome.
So as you probably...
Congrats, guys.
No dramas. So as you probably picked up, that just about wraps things up for us tonight. We're getting into a relatively quiet period of the year for us, which is deliberate. It is December, and there's plenty of things going on, family and otherwise. So we will probably see you next Tuesday evening for, as I said, the Long Beach round, a brand new track on iRacing, and very much looking forward to bringing that one to you. There is a possibility of us popping on Friday night as well. V8 Supercar Sim Series no longer on FGM ECast, so Sunday nights is a free night for us, but we will be releasing details of our 2021 calendar in the coming weeks, along with a number more. I'm struggling to talk at the end of a full long day. It's 9:45 at night, but along with a number of other announcements about our full plans for 2021. So to those of you who joined us tonight, thank you very much for jumping on the broadcast. You are what make our broadcast a success, and we will see you at the very least next Tuesday evening here, 7:40, for the first broadcast from Long Beach, the new track on iRacing for AUSPASS, and we will see you then. Thanks very much for this evening.